So government has to be lenient, not only in financing them for such activity, but also upkeeping the status of the houseboats before they vanish. So they have to regulate the tourism in such a way that you remain within the limits of the resilience of the lake to have the tourism in the lake, and that is unparalleled tourism which attracts lots of people to come here. So houseboats are not a problem for the sewage. If the sewage is taken care of, they are the least pollutants right now. I am Ejaz Asool, and I have been working with the engineering department of government. I have worked for Dal Lake also for quite long, made lots of projects which are ongoing and projects which fetch the money and all. And Dal Lake, I have been interacting right from my school days. It was in class 9th that I did the recross, that is swim across the Dal Lake from Nehru Park to Nishat and come back. And thereafter, this is something which is part of our culture and ethos here in Kashmir. So I don't think there's any Kashmiri who will not be interacting with Dal Lake as much as the visitors and tourists also do. So this is how I know Dal very well, and I have worked for it, studied it, and conducted certain sub-projects also. Well, one thing is for sure that in late 70s, government for the first time realized that Dal Lake is losing its purity and its beauty. The reason being that there was no conservation project for the Dal before that. And as the water started becoming foul in stagnant pockets and all, it was the irrigation and flood control department that time and the PHE department that were assigned to look to that. And by late 70s, we had the New Zealand company been brought here called Annex of New Zealand. They studied the lake for some time, and then they gave the first very small project for its conservation. And that was the first project ever that was formulated for the Dal Lake. It had emphasis on 2 or 3 things. The first thing was the silt control, the silt that was coming from the catchment areas and that was coming from the surface sources. And the second was the nutrient control, because as you know, Srinagar still is a city which is devoid of a proper sewerage and drainage system and a proper treatment for the sewage. So in the peripheral area of Dal, whatever sewage would be generated in its contributory catchment, that would straight away find its ingress into the Dal Lake. Dal already has a weed which was growing as part of its own ecological system, but that weed would get into a prolific stage of growth because of the nutrients, the sewage that would flow, and that started the problem. So far as the silt is concerned, a lot of activity has been done. We have the settling basin at Telbal, which has already stopped the silt ingress. The sewage has also been taken care of to the extent of about 60%. But 40% of the sewage from the western side is still going into the Dal Lake. And they are at it, but the progress of that work is very slow. It has been going on for the last 35 years under Urban Environmental Engineering Department. Then comes the hamlets. In the Dal Lake we have 58 hamlets populated, which are people are living there. And they had to go out of the Dal Lake as per a rehabilitation package. But that rehabilitation package again has been going on since 1986 June, when the moratorium was placed that they will not construct any new house, they will not repair their house, and they will be shifted. 8 colonies were already established for them. They were shifted in those 8 colonies. But the population also started growing. In 70s, in 80s, they took another survey, socio-economic survey, and some more families were introduced to be removed. But till now that program has not logically worked parallel to the conservation part. So the rehabilitation part is still pending. So this time also, if you see the sewage generated from these 58 hamlets within the lake, that finds its way into the Dal waters. Then we have the last and the least are the houseboats, which are used by the tourist who come here and they live here. Now these houseboats, though they have their own history, but so far as the Dal Lake is concerned, they also are devoid of any houseboat sanitation project. So whatever sewage is generated in the houseboats, that also is going to the Dal Lake. So far they have not yet come out with any project which has been implemented. There are many options that had been given, but still the sewage is going to the Dal Lake, due to which you have the nutrient inflow to the lake coming, and it is disturbing the nutrient budget of the lake. So that is something which has gone bad over these years, and that has deteriorated into the lake water quality of the lake. As I told you, houseboats are the part of the lake ecosystem. They have immense importance so far as the tourism is concerned. The experience of living in a houseboat, the luxury and the comfort that you feel there is unparalleled. It's not seen in any part of the world like that. And that is the only place where you can interact with the lake. You can go in the lake, swim in the lake, boat in the lake. So houseboats are not a problem for the sewage. If the sewage is taken care of, they are the least pollutants right now. But if the sewage is taken care of, they are the best places to reside. They are just like hotels inside this thing. The only problem is now in the moratorium that was placed in 1986, the permissions had to be sought for repair of the houseboats. Now we know houseboat construction has become very costly now. New houseboats are not going to come. The old ones which are already existing require very extensive maintenance procedures where they have to fill in the joints of the bottom and with special grass and all that, so that they remain leak proof and all. So government has to be lenient, not only in financing them for such activity, but also upkeeping the status of the houseboats before they vanish. Now we are seeing that earlier, if you see, they would have all sorts of Kashmiri handicrafts on the display in their drawing rooms, in their living rooms, in their dining rooms. But now those carpets are no more there. The Kashmiri carpets have been replaced by other carpets which are cheaper. That furnishing which was used to be there, that is difficult to maintain. So tourism department has to have a policy of keeping a number of houseboats which are congenial to be kept in the houseboat place, provide them with the sewage facilities and houseboat sanitation procedures, and also regulate the tourism there, because it's not that you overstretch the tourism of the lake. The lake has its own potential of tourism that it can take. So there are other places also in Kashmir. So they have to regulate the tourism in such a way that you remain within the limits of the resilience of the lake to have the tourism in the lake, and that is unparalleled tourism which attracts lots of people to come here. So I will just suggest the government should have a proper policy for maintenance, upkeep, and helping the houseboat owners to maintain their trade. Well, Dal Lake, houseboats are very essential part of Dal Lake. If you see the history of houseboats, how have they come? We used to have Dunga boats, which were owned by the boat population, they are known as, and they were locals. But since there was a article which restricted purchase of land by any foreigner in Kashmir, so the British people who had come here, they, instead of purchasing land which they could not, they thought of having movable residences, and that's how they converted. They upgraded the Dunga boats into the houseboats, and subsequently these houseboats took the shape of a tourist residing motel or a hotel type of a thing, floating on the water in Dal Lake. Now they have become part of the ecology of the Dal Lake, and their number is restricted. Their registrations are being done by the tourist department, and they have upgraded to the status of, let's say, deluxe and super deluxe and A class and B class. So far as the houseboats are concerned, they are a boon to us from the tourism point of view also, and from the beauty of Dal Lake also. But then the sewage that is being generated in these units has to be taken care of. In Maharaja's time, there was a strict rule that they would only have a commode type of a water closet. So whatever would be deposited there would be removed by scavenging. Subsequently, in mid-80s, when people upgraded their toilets into the flush type of a toilet, the houseboat people also upgraded them to the flush type of a toilet. and then it was only a flush and the water and the whatever refuse and sewage and dirt that would go directly into the lake. That started spoiling the water quality around the houseboats and especially in the area which were having these houseboats located. So that became a cause of concern. Now houseboat sanitation projects have been worked out, lots of proposals have been worked out, but till now none of them have been implemented on a large scale where it could be taken care of. Now if you see Nagin Lake, you have the houseboats mooring along the shoreline, so there is no problem. You can connect them to the garland sewers that already have been laid. But if you come to the Dal Lake where you have the Gagribal Basin, which is having most of the houseboats located, we still have to go for a houseboat sanitation scheme. And there was a scheme already made, where we had thought that we would keep them into rows and lines. It was in the High Court direction also. And that involves certain acquisition of the land. You'll be surprised to know that the water and the land near the houseboats, they are owned by the people. They have their proprietary rights over it. So you have to acquire that land in order to implement any scheme. So to facilitate the sewage of that area, it was proposed that we'll put them into lines, grade them up to as per the status of the houseboat, and then have the lake bed sewers and a aqua vacuum system of sewers, which will remove all these sewage to the shoreline, thereupon to be pumped to the city sewage plants. But still nothing has been done on that account. The acquisitions have not been done. Another very important factor that has taken place, initially they were being served by the Dunga boats, which were the kitchen units as well as the resigning units of the people who would serve the houseboat. Now those Dunga boats have vanished. There are small land islands which have been created at their places. Hutments have come behind the houseboats where the kitchen has been located now. So it's a matter of now taking the kitchen waste as well as the houseboat waste into the houseboat sanitation project. Proposals are there. I think DRDO has given them the latest proposal for a ready-made unit to be installed. We hope that they will work on that very soon and this thing will be taken care of. But the houseboats are mostly in Dal Lake, they are at the exit point. So they are not affecting the ecology of the lake to that extent because whatever water gets polluted, it is coming out from the Dal Gate area and going towards the Jhelum. So that's not the solution. But it's not affecting the lake in a big way. But if they have the proposals where they are in anticipating to shift the houseboats upstream to the Doldam area, then we have a problem because Doldam area has the 30% spring water that comes to the lake in the water budget. Is 30% is the spring water that comes from the lake bed. They are all in Doldam. So if you have the houseboats shifted there and even if you provide a sewerage scheme for them, there would be problems because if there's any mishap, that will then pollute the upstream area of the lake, the upstream waters of the lake. And we have seen that since we have not been able to do it for the hamlets, and hamlets are to be shifted out, otherwise we could have easily placed them for the hamlets also and there would no need would be there for taking out the people. That pollution could have been taken care of. But based on that experience, I would not suggest that they should be shifted to the upstream. They should be placed where they are, that is the business area near the hotels. Put in proper lines, put in proper alignment, and then have a sewerage scheme for them and take care of their wastes. Now, if you really want to now save Dal Lake and if you really want to have the project in shape, then we have to see that the rehabilitation project that has been formulated, which has to go co-laterally with the conservation of the lake, they have to go hand in hand and at equal speed. Otherwise, one of them is going to overdo or undo whatever has been done or achieved on the other side. So, implementation of the project has to be relooked properly, and the propositions in the project, which are about 28, 29 sub-projects of that. So they concern water budget, they concern water circulation, they concern pollution of the lake, they concern the upgradation of the catchment area so that no silt comes there. Revival of the springs, water circulation of the, all these things have to be looked up in proper shape, commensurate with one another. Dal is a patient which has multiple problems. All these problems are to be simultaneously done, and that's why the authority was created, so that under one umbrella, all the facets of your lake, like water conservation, the revenue part, or the soil conservation part, or the forest department, they all work under one particular thing. People have also to contribute not to encroach upon its areas. People have to contribute that they do not pollute this lake. So have the visitors also. But government also has to see that this is quite a long project now. It started in 1979. It's high time that we complete this project, bring it to the proper shape, so that lake starts reviving of its own, and we have a beautiful lake to look at. Now, much has been done. It's not that nothing has been done. Lots of work have been done. We have things much better with the lake. Otherwise, if you see its satellite lakes of Khushalsar and Gilsar, we have nearly lost them. So if you compare, because nothing has happened on those two satellite lakes. But Dal is good, it can be revived, and government has to be seriously thinking about it and do something about it. I've been working with the Wetland International Southeast Asia also for conservation of the Wooler Lake, and we made that comprehensive management action plan for Wooler also, which is the biggest wetland that we have here, and it's a Ramsar site, an international Ramsar site. Then we have Hokersar, that is also an international Ramsar site. So wetlands have a pressure, anthropogenic pressure on them, because these wetlands do not have scientific management practices being followed for quite some time to come. You see, let's talk of Wooler. It's the Jhelum which feeds Wooler. So whatever is the quality of the Jhelum waters, that is going to be the quality of the Wooler Lake also. So if Jhelum is carrying more silt because of the degradations in our catchments and more topsoil flowing down through Jhelum, it will silt up Wooler also. And over the last 30 years in the project, we estimated that about 30% of the storage capacity of Wooler has been lost to siltation. So it would act as a huge water reservoir which would store the flood waters. Its wetlands would act like sponges which would absorb the high flows and then release the flows during lean time of flow. And that is the function of the wetland. But that has reversed because of these siltation that had taken place. And then locally also there are certain pollutants like sewage and all which go to the Wooler Lake. Similarly, now we talk to, as I told you about the Dal Lake, there's a lot of sewage still going on. Those 60% has been taken care of, but 40% is still flowing from the houseboats, from the hamlets, from the peripheral shoreline of western boundary. So all these wetlands, unless and until they are managed as to the scientific practice, even if we talk of Hokersar, which is a wetland of repute here and where lots of birds come here, migratory birds come here. So we have seen a decline. 2014 also played its part. It silted up these wetlands. Now they require conservation measures more than they would have required any time, especially after the 2014 flood. But that practice has still not been followed, though Wooler has a project now. It's been implemented through WUCMA, the Wooler authority that has been made for that. But the progress is very slow. The project should have been finished in 5 years, but it's still on, and much progress has not been achieved. Hokersar, they are in the inception, they are making the projects now, to how they have to handle it. Then we have other very big system of wetlands in the state itself. All of them, mostly they are left to the nature. They have not been given any conservation measures so far. So wetland is something of which we have realized its functions have come to fore of very late. The scientific system of its biodiversity has come to fore very late, and we have now started realizing how important they are, not only for the migratory birds, but as water bodies in our own ecology. So I hope that they are going to make certain projects, and the projects that have already been made, they will be implemented soon, and we will be able to restore their glory as they used to be, instead of letting them deteriorate further.